Hello and welcome in guys to my in-depth guitar review channel. Today I have a very interesting guitar to show you. It's the 2009 Washburn WI15 SJ Idol with a special design by the artist Steven Jensen. I'm going to fully disassemble this guitar, clean it up, fix what's broken on it, do a setup, and then I'm gonna do a short demo of it and tell you my opinion. Let's dive in, shall we? And here it is. The W15, designed by Steven Jensen, is one of those guitars that you wouldn't guess the price of. You can find this guitar used at around $250. And I'm really glad that I got the chance to show you this guitar. You see, every once in a while a kid comes in the shop, and I absolutely love taking a second-hand guitar and freshen it up and make it almost like brand new. Seeing those kids' faces light up makes me really happy. Yes, the guitar needs some work, but it's not a huge problem. The main issue with it is that it's missing a string. And most kids think that this is the end of the world. Like, oh my god, I've broken the guitar. Being a beginner is so much fun. Oh man, I really like this guitar. At first, the kid showed me pictures of the guitar, but I didn't expect it to look that good in person. Feels good too, and the graphics are just amazing. The artist Steven Jensen did a great job on this guitar. It needs some love, of course. What I'm gonna do is replace the strings, all of them, do a proper setup afterwards. I see that it's missing the cap of the three-way switch. I'm gonna give him one. And I'm checking out the pots, and yeah, here we go. The neck tone pot is loose. I'm gonna tighten this up. Other than that, I think the input jack might be a bit loose. But before I go more in depth, let's talk about the main focus of this guitar, and it's the absolutely gorgeous design. Just look at it. I know it's just stickers under the poly top, but they've chose them so well. Just look at the headstock, the graphic on it, it's amazing. This just makes the guitar so much better than the standard version WI15. You might think that Washburn just took the black WI15 model and applied some stickers on it, but they did so much more. One of my favorite features is the Fibonacci golden ratio art around the three-way switch. Look at it, where it starts from the pot and finishes to the three-way switch. But the most noticeable change they did is to get rid of the tailpiece. Look at how the strings are going through the body, not concealing the beautiful moth. Please tell me I'm not the only one who's getting Silence of the Lambs vibe. My first impressions of this guitar are really good. I cannot find a single thing that I don't like about this guitar. I'm not a huge fan of the bolt-on neck, but I don't think for this price you can get much more. So let's throw it on the workbench and see what it's made of. I had a bit of a hard time taking off the strings from the tuners, because usually beginners try to lock them in place and rub them twice. But I don't mean rub them around the tuning peg. I mean they put the string through the hole twice, and this results in a strange locking that it's only preventing you to take off the string easy. It doesn't do much about tuning stability. Eventually I will show you my way of wrapping the strings around the tuning heads. A good friend of mine taught me how to do it, and I've been using it for like 6 years now, and it works for me. Hopefully it will work for you. As usual, I loosen the screws by hand with the screwdriver so I don't mess up the heads. From there on, I use the power screwdriver to get them all the way out. I specifically chose this Bosch power screwdriver because it has variable speed control. The slower rotation preserves the screws. Now that the hardware is out of the way, let's see what needs to be done. First of all, I wanted to clean the frets and the fingerboards. I don't think those frets had seen a decent cleaning job in years. And making those shiny again contributes to the new guitar feel that I'm going after. I'm going to clean this fingerboard well and then apply some F1 Music Nomad oil. Shiny frets and oil fingerboard make a huge difference. Look how dark it got. Let's check out the specs of this guitar. First of all, it's not only a WI15 with some bells and whistles. Yes, it started out as the black WI15, on which Washburn applied the graphics by the artist Steven Jensen. Here you can see the signature of the man, and here you can see the Instagram if you want to follow him. Moving on with the specs, we got 2 humbucker pickups, basswood body, bolt-on construction on the neck, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard. Then we got 22 extra jumbo frets on it, 3 left and 3 right tuners, which I noticed are a bit loose, and the absolutely gorgeous graphic by Steven Jensen on the headstock. What do we got over here? A 3-way switch that is missing a cap that I'm gonna put back on, a new one, bridge volume, neck volume, bridge tone, neck tone. Look at that cool Fibonacci golden ratio here. And here is one of the main differences with the standard model. This one only has a bridge, no tailpiece. It uses the strings through body construction in order to show off the beautiful graphics made by Steven Jensen. Passive pickups, and let's check out the cavities. No real surprises here. I'm used to seeing this black shielding paint in most Indonesian and China made guitars. Unfortunately, the maple neck edge is painted as well and you cannot see the maple. Let's check out the other side. Here you can see the edge of the veneer under the clear coat. It's very thin. Same situation with the bridge pickup cavity, shielding paint. The body is made of basswood, but we cannot see it because of the paint. Time to check up what pickups are in this guitar. There's not too much information regarding the pickups. Other than that, I've seen them used on some Epiphone guitars. They are this BHC brand, and the C stands for China. There is another that is BHK, stands for Korea. So in this particular guitar, we have China-made pickups, and they are stamped F and R. You can see over here. F means front or neck, goes over here in the neck position, and a sticker is applied. And then you got R, which is rear, stands in the rear or in the bridge position, and also has a sticker like this one. The pickups are open, the pickup rings are slanted, and all of the screws are short. Here is the moment I've been waiting for to finish the golden ratio of Fibonacci. First of all, I've tightened the 3-way switch. I held it from the back and tightened it with the tool that you saw, and now I'm putting on the cap. That is satisfying. I know this is just a sticker, but the graphics just make this guitar so much better. Look at that. The neck tone pot was loose. This happens over time, mainly with the volume ones because you rotate them more. Make sure to take care of those as soon as you feel them loose, because they may break the wires from the back. Because once they're loose, they're twisting the electronics of the pot back in the electronics cavity, and they break the wires. The absolutely same thing happened to the output jack. If you feel that the jack is loose, don't leave it like that, because it rotates in the body and it might break the line, and your guitar is gonna cut off at moments that you don't want it to. Take care of this nut as soon as you feel it loose. Open the electronics cavity, hold it from the back, and then tighten from the front. You got the idea. You don't need any moving parts that might break the wires connected to them. And on to the soldering job that I'm not really good at, but it will do. Now we can measure the pickups. And the numbers don't lie. You got the bridge pickup at 972, really soft. Then we switch over to the neck, and we got, settle down, 946. So those two pickups are pretty much identical with small differences, and they are soft sounding, good for crunch, clean, things like that. Then we got the middle position, and it is 479. Moving over to the bridge that I've just polished. It is B2 branded, it is China made, and I've seen it in some Epiphone guitars. It has individual saddles that are held by this retainer over here. It is metric, and it doesn't have a tailpiece because we had a strings through body construction. Thumb wheels, screwdriver adjustable. This Washburn guitar has no binding, but I wanted to check out if the graphics sticker is applied properly and evenly. And looking at it, it seems that Washburn did a good job with the application. Moving over to the maple neck. This guitar has a maple neck and rosewood fingerboard. And I really like how this rosewood looks on this particular guitar because of the brown graphics. I'm usually a fan of ebony, but this one, after the oiling job I did, is good. I don't feel the fret edges scratching, but this is not a new guitar, they might have been touched at some point. Plastic dot inlays, plastic side dot inlays. Overall the neck feels really good, I don't see any problems with it, so we're good over here. No wonder I like this guitar so much, it's way too familiar. 24.75 inch scale length and 12 inch radius. It's way too familiar, I like in a Gibson guitar. And a 12 inch over here. Now let's measure the nut. And we got 41.5 millimeters or 1.63 inch. Measuring the 12th fret, we got 52 millimeters or 2.06 inches. Measuring the thickness of the first fret, 21.6 millimeters or 0.85 inch. 12th fret thickness is the comfortable 22.2 millimeters or 0.85 inch. It feels like a thin C-shaped neck, and indeed it seems so. It is TC slim, really comfortable. I'm not entirely sure if the nut has been replaced because it's slightly shorter than 42 millimeters, it's 41.1. Here the truss rod nut, and you can clearly see the maple neck grain. 4mm Allen wrench adjustable. The tuners are some sort of Chinese Grover copy and they're loose. Make sure you tighten them with every string change if needed. Take a tool like this one from Music Nomad. And now that the tuners are nice and tight, just the way I like them, check out this graphic here on the headstock. Mr. Jensen, amazing job. I just love it. The truss rod cover plate, it's very pointy. It's bound and it has 3 holes for 3 screws. Let's have a closer look of the logo. Here it is. And now the back, not so exciting as the front. Again, we have basswood body, bolt-on neck construction, strings through body, and just underneath the holes you can see the line that separates the wood. Same shielding paint we've seen in the pickup cavity, and they've used this shovel 3-way switch that can fit in this thin body. And those spots seem way too familiar. Last time I saw them, it was in the Hammer guitar that was made in Indonesia. They are 500k pickups and they're usually sold in bulk, like 10 pieces. The wires bound together. I took care of the output jack. I see a black ground wire, and overall a decent job for the money you pay for this guitar. String through body construction with 6 black ferrules. A bolt-on neck construction, which is cheaper and usual for this price range of guitars, and we got a lot of colorways. The first one over here, really comfortable for high fret axis. Then we got one belly cutaway on the bottom and one on the top. The Washburn is a really comfortable guitar. Check out this smooth connection between the bolt-on neck and the body. Feels really comfortable and gives a good access to the higher frets. This Washburn has the original strap buttons at the front and the back, rectangular black metal plate for the output jack, and a black nut. There's not much we can see in this C-shape slim maple neck because it has black paint on it. Back of the headstock we have the Made in China stamp over here, the black Grover type of Chinese made tuners, and we got the serial number that I'm not gonna read too much into, but it's 09-2009. The electronics compartment covers this matte black plastic that it's shielded on the backside, and it has those short screws. And I wanted to roughly show you how my strings are locked, and this is so satisfying. Make sure you cut your strings. The truss rod was way too tight for the strings that I'm putting on. It's those 946 Elixir strings, so I'm gonna loosen it a bit with this 4mm Allen wrench, slightly rotating counterclockwise to loosen it. Last but not least, let's weigh this guitar. And the magic number is 7.36 pounds. Now let's see if it sounds light as it is. After everything I showed you, my final thoughts about this guitar. I really enjoyed playing it. And I'm absolutely happy how it turned out. The 3-way switch now has a cap and it's working perfectly. I've tightened the neck tone pot. I have intonated the 2-pneumatic bridge. The string height is properly adjusted now. I have also adjusted the pickup height according to the strings. The fingerboard is nicely oiled and dark. The frets are polished. I've polished the entire guitar. I took care of the output jack. The whole guitar cleaned out pretty nicely and it has this new guitar feel to it now, but even better, the WI15 Washburn guitar feels like a beginner dream, and this gorgeous design by Steven Jensen and the graphics that he's applied is just amazing. It's an interesting guitar overall. I'm really happy to have seen it, and look at this Fibonacci golden ratio. I can play with this all day. But I gotta give the guitar back to the kid, so he needs to practice a lot and enjoy this instrument because it is really good. I like this guitar. I wanna thank you for bringing this guitar to me, my friend. I had so much fun disassembling and taking care of this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing because I will try to give you more interesting guitars in the future.